Hi, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here today interviewing Victor Kados. I'm very happy to be doing this. He's my colleague, he's a friend, he's someone I know since 2021. He's a very special person, and I say this with full honesty. I mean it from my heart, so it's very special to be interviewing this person, Victor. And let's start there. So I know you, Victor, since 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And it's funny because it was only last year that you told me the story of, how you decided to move from Brazil to Portugal and the whole story of how Viv Europe came about. And I think it's a really motivating story for other people. And yeah, I'm going to let you tell it. So, well, first, let's start with what made you come from Brazil to Portugal?
Thank you, Rita. Really appreciate the introduction. You're also very special for sure. And getting back to the question. So to tell you the truth, Portugal was never destination for me. Life kind of guided me and my wife to be here because she was the one who applied for a job interview for a company here in Portugal back then in 2017. So it's some years ago, and she was hired for this position, and that's when she told me we had to be in Portugal in the next, I guess it was the next 2 months. So we had 2 months to pack our things and go.
Oh, yeah, I remember you told me
And
that.
I was I was kind of afraid because I
Of
had a
course.
life in Brazil. But
Did you
yeah,
have
I
a
decided
job?
to go for this. Sorry.
Did you have a job and or were you studying when she told you,
I
okay,
did.
two
I
months?
did. I was working for yeah. I was working for actually for a quite big company in Brazil,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
it was a big thing having to tell my colleagues that I was leaving out of nothing. For this challenge, it was
And your
always her
family,
dream
right?
to live exact family. It was always her dream to move from Brazil to anywhere, especially in Europe. So here we are, and I mean, living here, I was able to do many things, but I'll leave that to the next questions.
Okay, well, thank you, Lila. I have to say, because that's why we're here, right? If you think about it, life is very funny like that. There's a movie called Sliding Doors. I don't know if you've seen this with Gwyneth Paltrow, and it's about like it captures like certain moments, and if you did something just a little bit in a different way, your whole life would change. Do you know what I mean? So if
Yeah,
Lila hadn't
yeah, yeah.
applied for that job, where would you be? Do you know what I mean? An interesting. It's interesting
I
to think about that.
I do think about it. Yeah, I agree. It's funny, So, but yeah, life um guided me, and yeah, now I'm in Portugal with you guys, and it's been such an amazing experience for sure.
Okay, so you came to Portugal. Your what was it like in the beginning? Like, for example, the first I don't know, the first 6 months you were here. Was it what you were expected? Was it exciting? Was it difficult? What stood out?
Mm, Rita, so it was 2018. It was almost 8 years ago. So it was another scenario here in Portugal. We moved to a small city called Braga, up north,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, I can say it was much more straightforward than what would be nowadays, because things were easier back then. Even talking about the bureaucracy and the dealing with the immigration agency, it was pretty straightforward. I remember that there was no need to schedule appointments, just like
Oh,
you
wow.
have to
Okay.
do nowadays. Yeah, and making friends was I would say it was easy, because there were, I mean, Braga was always known for being a place where Brazilians, they tend to go here in
That's
the
true.
north.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy to get along with people, other Brazilians here in
Mm-hmm.
Portugal. And one of our best friends, we knew them, that they're a couple, on the waiting line for to get my UTENT number to be able to use the public healthcare. So we were
Mm-hmm.
there waiting in the line, and then he mentioned he came from São Paulo, and
Uh-huh.
it was fairly easy to get along with people. So I would say that it was easy to adapt to
It was a
Portugal
smooth
back then.
transition. Okay.
It was.
Okay. Good.
It
Good.
was.
Good. And I think it's interesting. People have different experiences, right? You can't. It's not like uh, it's not a recipe. Some people, I think, they immigrate and they think it's really hard. The culture is so different, and some people, like yourself, just have a smooth transition, and things are great, and they make friends, and it varies. You can't say it's the same for everyone, right? Can
I
you think of
remember,
any?
Rita,
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, Rita, just to, while you were
Hmm.
talking, I was also thinking about this struggles I faced in
Hmm.
this early stage. As I mentioned, it was quite easy, nothing to complain about, but we had some issues with our landlord. So it was, she's a Portuguese citizen, and I could see that back then it was not that common for people to move to
Hmm.
Portugal. It was not such a popular country as nowadays. So probably it was the first like interaction she was having with a Brazilian. So there was
Oh,
a
I
bit
see.
of a culture thing going on,
Clash.
but overall, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Overall, it was fine. It was nothing that
Yeah.
complicated.
I think you're an easygoing person as well. So I believe certain types of people with different kinds of personalities would maybe make a big deal of things. But um, yeah, I think if you're immigrating, what is it to immigrate? You are choosing to go and live in another country. So it's up to you to adapt to the country's culture, right? That doesn't mean you're going to take people being rude to you, not at all. But you have to make an effort to understand uh, what is common here, what's how do people think here? What's the rationale? Because it's probably different than yours, and so I think
Exactly.
sometimes there are misunderstandings because cultural differences. We interpret things with our culture mindsets, and actually
Yeah.
it can be a complete misunderstanding. But and also think it, like I said, it helps. You're a pretty easygoing person. So
Really.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so going on to the business side of it, when you arrived, Lila had her job. Did you have to? I mean, you had to move in 2 months. So I'm assuming you didn't have time to look for a job before you came. You
No,
didn't.
you were completely right. I didn't. So what I did in this early stage here in Portugal was to, I mean, she was working, so she was going to work on a daily basis, and I wanted to feel active. So it's, trying to um, getting to know people and get a job. So what I did was I enrolled into any job opportunity that into my um, came to place. So and luckily I was able to work for a company that provides like internet connection, also for a real estate agency. And later on, I decided to do an LLM, so extension of a course in law, because back then
Okay.
in Brazil I was a lawyer, so it
Mm-hmm.
made sense for me to do an extension here, even to get to know new people, integrate here in Portugal.
Yeah.
So I did this LLM in Braga at University do Minho. It's a
Mm-hmm.
well-known university here
Yes,
in Portugal.
it is. It is.
Made some
Mm-hmm.
good friends there.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It was nice. It was nice for the integration, and that's when I had the opportunity to work for another relocation assistance company here
mm-hmm.
in Porto,
So,
and
like,
that
through someone that you met at the University of Minho, is that what you mean?
actually for I mean there were people there that they were working in relocation, but it this first job was not related to any connection. So I did enroll for this opportunity, and I was accepted. So I
Okay.
was working as a lawyer there, and I was able to understand a little better what it is to be someone guiding another person on the process of moving to Portugal. I forgot to mention, but when me and my wife we moved to Portugal, I know it was really quick, but we missed someone to help us. We felt that even then, back then it was kind of I mean, there's a lot of paperwork.
Messy.
It's a very bureaucratic. It's yeah. So with that in mind, I started working for this company, and that was when we Americans they were starting to notice
Mm-hmm.
Portugal and to consider Portugal as a country where they would be living, so where they would be relocating, and that when the click came to me. So not so many companies
Mm-hmm.
helping American people, and a lot of companies helping Brazilians to move to Portugal. That was very
Yes.
popular back
Yes.
then.
Mm-hmm.
And with that in mind, then the university part come together, because I met a friend in this university who was a very like business guy. He was always looking for opportunities, and
Mm-hmm.
I told him about this opportunity, and this guy, his name is José Machado.
Mm-hmm.
He put me in touch with Arthur,
Uh-huh.
another shareholder. So, and we together we decided to open Viv Europe, and that's how it all begins.
That's really interesting. Just to kind of repeat from what I understood, like you and Lila had a little bit of difficulty in your process, right? And so that was already something in your mind. Then you kind of found this opportunity to work with immigration. You saw what was that was like. You noticed that, oh, Americans were coming, opportunity, met. That's really, really, that's really cool. You know, that life takes you to these places, and then here you are with your own company, and it's doing so well, and it's been up since 2021. And who would have thought, right? If I were to tell you, like, in
Yeah.
2021, Victor, in 2025, you're going to be CEO of this company bringing thousands and thousands of people, what do you think you would have said?
I wouldn't, Rita. It's really funny because I never thought about my future that much. It was just the fact that I was already in the business. There was this opportunity, and I'm usually someone who does not plan that much. I'm just do
Mhm.
things. Hopefully, they come out to a good conclusion. But
You go with the
the
flow, right?
the thing
Go with
is,
the flow.
I
Yeah.
go with the flow. I go with the flow, and but when we decided to open the business, COVID came right after,
That
and
must have been
that was
tough.
one of the biggest challenges. Yeah, because there's, I mean, when you start a business, you don't have, you don't know if it's gonna be if it's gonna work out. Despite the opportunity, despite everything, when we started the business, the Portuguese doors closed for immigration. Not only Portuguese, but all doors,
Yes.
they closed. So the world was on standby,
Yeah.
and that really hurt in a way that I mean, I was the one who started this. At least I talked to those other friends and put the thing in place. I was the sparkle to start all of this journey. And at the same time, COVID came. I was very insecure. I was very afraid that all of this effort to put a business in place would be would lead to no results, because I
Mhm.
mentioned that before with that it was 1 year with nothing, no clients,
Clients.
no income,
Yes. So talk. I want you to
no
talk.
perspective.
I remember you telling me this. So you start a business, it's already scary, it's risky, right? You're investing money, you have more people involved who are investing in you, right? Because I remember from
Exactly.
what you told you met Arthur, who was willing to pay you like minimum wage to start putting things together. And then all of a sudden, COVID, boom, no clients. I mean,
Yeah.
how did you how did you navigate hanging on and being persistent and this is gonna work out? And how long did that last for until you had your first client?
It was not easy, I can tell you that. And I really thank Arthur, the other
Mm-hmm.
shareholder, for uh, believing in this idea and to be persistent, uh, knowing that the situation will change in the future. Because, as you mentioned, he was paying my salary. He was paying me to develop the business, to create the content that we display in our website, to do the social media, to try to grow as a business, even knowing that we would not be able to have a client. So it would be impossible for us to bring people to Portugal. But on the other hand, that time was good because I was able to create as many piece of content as I could. So I was able to write, and there was no AI back then. So it was all about creating articles
Hard work. Yeah.
by hand, hard work, try to,
Yeah.
to get to know people, and we are all in this situation where we're locked down. It was pretty hectic in this sense,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it was in about 1 year after the business. I remember it was an European citizen, so he was not an American. I guess if I
Mm-hmm.
remember well, he was Irish, and
Okay.
he was planning to move to Portugal. And there is one specific process for those who are Europeans to move to
Mm-hmm.
Portugal, which does not involve visas. So it was, let's say, an easy start. Let's say like this,
Yeah.
and
Luck of the Irish, right?
yeah,
Luck of the Irish. Yeah.
exactly,
Do
exactly.
you still
And
have
this was the first
contacts
one.
with the first
Yes,
client?
yes,
You do.
we still once in a while we talk
Did
a
you
little bit. Despite the fact that I was working for this area for quite some time, it's not that
you know
it
what you
was
were
something new
doing?
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I was doing through, but I mean, it was the first one, always special. And but after this first one, then like in less than 2 weeks came the second one and the third, and then it was like a compound effect, and
It
now
picked up.
you're here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was very interesting, very challenging,
And gratifying, right?
gratifying for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So thinking about like establishing a business in Portugal and specific, I know it wasn't your case, but in Portugal we have the D2 visa meant for entrepreneurs who either want to start a business or transfer a business to Portugal. Um, what do you think are the biggest challenges in terms of like the bureaucracy, paperwork? What would you say that these applicants need to be aware of?
Yeah, that's a good question, Rita. Um, and back then, I wasn't. I mean, I knew about the process, but
Mm-hmm.
before opening my business, I was. I mean, I did not have the experience of going through the process. I can say that the most challenging part it is that probably there are some specific deadlines that you need to be aware of. Otherwise, you are going to be paying some very high fines here
I
in
see.
Portugal. For instance, as soon as you open the business, you need to appoint an accountant. I guess in like 15 days or something like it. And this account needs to open the activity at finances. Otherwise, some fines could come up. And so there are a lot of specifics that if you're not aware of, you are going to be in a very bad position. So
Mm-hmm.
I think being informed about your duties as someone who is opening a business is one of those challenges and difficulties. It's kind of I mean kind of expensive because here in Portugal you are required to hire an accountant. You are required to pay social security. So
But
if you
in it,
don't have enough income,
yeah, I was just gonna
sorry,
say, and it
sorry,
must be a Portuguese accountant, right?
it must be a Portuguese accountant for yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean it's just I mean you need to be prepared because if you are in this position where there's not enough income to cover those expenses, maybe the business will fail. So
Mm.
yeah, I think
Okay.
that's something to keep into consideration when opening a business in Portugal.
Okay. So thank you for that, explaining a little bit about the D2 duties. So now you've been here for what, 6 years, 7 years?
Yeah, close to 8.
Ah, sorry. Okay. Close to 8. Yeah, I was thinking of myself. Sorry. And do you think that um, when was the moment that, or did you have this moment like, okay, this is my home now?
I guess, Rita, after the permit. So I came here with a visa. It was a family reunification visa. Came with my wife, and then I lived here just with this visa for about 4 months, I would say. I
Mm-hmm.
was still everything still was still new for me, the new country, new people,
Yeah.
and I was feeling like a foreigner at that time. But when I received my permit, I considered that like my local ID. Now I have a local ID. I have a number in Portugal. So
Mm-hmm.
that's when I really started thinking that okay, now this is home. That was the
Okay.
moment, I would say.
That's interesting. Like you needed that permit to actually be like, okay, this is real. This is my home. Okay. Yeah. I guess it makes sense. Let me
Yeah.
see what
I
else.
guess I will go I will feel something similar again as when I finally become a Portuguese citizen. As I applied for the citizenship 2 years ago, so I'm probably a new feeling that will I will I will feel when it comes to the conclusion.
Probably coming soon, right?
I hope so.
Okay. So let's see. Another question for you. Okay, this is maybe a difficult question, but let me ask you. If you could go back to your first few months in Portugal, what advice would you give yourself? So, would there be anything that you
A
would
good
tell
one.
yourself to maybe improve or help you in your first months, or not really, or
Yes. Rita, probably, I came to Portugal without thinking too much about, um, you know, uh, documents. It was all about let's gather everything to have it done in 2 months. That was my deadline.
mm-hmm.
I should be more. I should be more attentive on the tax part of this journey. I was there used to be a tax incentive called NHR. Some people know about it, that
Yes.
would bring
Mm-hmm.
you to the position where you pay just much lower tax rates, and I wasn't aware about it, so I did not do my research
Apply. Yeah.
well. So probably, Victor, you should be worrying more about those specifics, taxes.
Mhm,
Um,
mhm, mhm,
Search more. I should done my research a little bit more
mhm.
back then.
Okay,
But I mean, things came out okay. I'm living here now, but probably I should be more responsible in this regard.
okay. Do you still miss anything from Brazil? And if so, um, what do you, how do you manage? Uh-oh, I don't know what you're gonna say.
Family,
Uh-huh.
family for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Friends, I mean, I have some good friends who are in Brazil. And this, I mean, even though some of those friends, they also moved to Portugal, so we still have contact here in Portugal. Family, my mom, she usually she come visit me at least once per year, so it's something manageable.
Mm-hmm.
Like 3 years, I go to Brazil to visit my family, so it's we I can deal with that. Food, for sure. I love Brazilian food. The I l- there are so many dishes that I can tell you that I miss. Escondidinho,
Mm-hmm.
água de coco. I love
Oh yes, me too. I miss that. I
um,
miss coconut water. From the coconuts.
From the coconut,
I actually
exactly.
saw where was it? Let me just we went to a beach. Yeah, here, like close to Lisbon, and they were selling coconut water from the coconut, and it was like €7. I'm like, no, come on. Yeah. But yeah, that's something
No way.
I miss too. Yeah.
Yeah, and the funny thing, I was gonna say, just for instance, tapioca, acai,
Hmm.
but you can find those things nowadays. You
Everywhere.
can find those, yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I can have a taste of it living here. It's not the same as you meant. I mean, I don't know
It's
if
not the
how
same.
good was that coconut, but it's
Yeah.
usually not the same.
It's usually not the same. What in Lisbon we have many, not many, but we have a good number of Brazilian restaurants. So next time we visit, I'll
Oh,
we'll go to
there's
one.
there's one that I love.
Hmm.
Acarajé da Carol. For me, it's
Yes.
very like regional. It's on
Hmm. Yes,
from
delicious.
Bahia. Yeah, but
Yes.
it's amazing. I love it. I
Yes.
usually go to this restaurant when I visit Lisbon. It's mandatory.
Um, and I think this is the last question here, but so what's the most Brazilian thing about you that Portugal hasn't changed? Think about it.
I guess that's a a good question, Rita. Yeah, I think that as you mentioned in the beginning of this interview, Rita, I'm very people tell me at least that I'm an easygoing person. That it's very hard for me to get upset, to be rude with people, and I think that Portuguese tend to be very like straightforward. What they
More
tell what they want to tell
more direct.
without right. They're very direct.
Yes. I think
I'm
it's
not like
a
this. I'm not like
yeah.
this.
No, you're not. You're not at all.
Uh,
So that's something that,
yeah, if I have to say something, I will. If it's something that I don't want to say because it can harm the other person, I tend to spend at least 15 minutes just to create the mood, create the situation, to
yes.
to tell in a way that I feel that it won't be hurting other
Hmm.
people's
That's
feelings.
that's very Brazilian. I remember
So I guess this is
I was just going to say that's very Brazilian, and I identify with that because, and I don't think it's just a Portuguese thing. I think like Europe, it's a European thing to be more direct, right? So, just an example in Brazil, if you call a friend, so no, if your friend invites you to the movies, okay, and you don't feel like going, you're tired, right?
okay.
As a Brazilian, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't want to go, but I don't want to, what do I do? You're going to say something like, oh, sorry, I can't go because I have to babysit for my friend. They asked me to take care of the kids. And you're going to make a silly little lie just not to say, listen, I'm tired. I just want to, you know, lay on the couch and watch TV. You'll never say that. And I see how Europeans are so different in that way. Even some Americans, they will tell you. I mean, I had American friends, and they're more direct as well in that sense. But we're always like, yeah,
But Rita, I don't know if it did happen with you, but with me, I'm still that person. I'm still that person who is always trying to not be rude or very direct. But as I'm getting older, I'm kind of just more and more being myself. Is
great.
I mean,
That's good.
yeah, there's
Exactly.
sometimes that you just don't want to go out. It's rainy outside, so you just want to stay home. And
No, and
why tell little lies, right?
You shouldn't. No, I agree with you. Like, I'm doing the same thing. I mean, I think that's the good thing about getting older is you're able to just say, "Nah, I'm staying home. Thank you, but that's not for me anymore. I have no need to go to like a nightclub or, you know, no thank you." Like for me, it's like no thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, this was really great. Thank you so much for, sharing everything that you've shared. It was a pleasure, like I said. And I'm sure many people will enjoy hearing about it. And congratulations on everything you've achieved, on your persistence, on treating people nice and treating people, in the correct way and still, conquering the space that you have with Viv Europe. I think it's a big deal and you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you, Rita. But I can tell you, really from the heart, that what makes me really happy about it, of course, it is important to see like the company growing and being able to help more and more people. But the people that you get to know along the way, being you, Mateus, and our dear like clients, the Americans moving to Portugal, so many nice people you get to know, and so this is by far, for me at least, the best part of the journey.
I agree. We meet like amazing people with like very inspiring stories, and it's wonderful. Yeah.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. And also, just to conclude, it is nice, Rita. At least I think this way, to work with people that are moving to Portugal, because in a way, you during that specific time that you are working together, you get to know that person's life. So you kind of become part of. I don't know if it's as a cliche or not, but you become part of a family,
Hmm.
and you want that process to be successful. So you start
Yes.
uh, moving from someone who is providing assistance to be like a cheerleader,
Yes.
hoping
You're.
that
Yeah.
it will be
Successful.
successful. So
Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
nice.
Yeah. I have the same feeling. It's really great to meet all these people, and it's a privilege. It really is. Okay,
Okay.
thanks so much.
But thank you, Rita. I
Okay,
appreciate your time. It was
I
nice.
appreciate
Really
yours.
appreciate
Okay, bye
it.
bye. Thanks, everyone. Okay,
Thank you.
okay, it's a wrap.